So yes, from the title of this video, I will be returning my M3 MacBook Pro. I want to go into why and share some very confusing results when testing this machine, which has resulted in me wanting to return it. It's funny because I was so excited to get it that I made a whole new wallpaper pack and everything, a sort of dark theme wallpaper pack, just because it's space black. You guys should definitely check it out. So Apple have launched the all-new M3 line of chips that are going in these machines. They've launched 3 new chips at the same time: the base M3 chip, the M3 Pro and the M3 Max. They've shared a few things on their website, comparing things like 3D rendering and video editing speeds. I won't be going super into benchmarking as that information is already widely available. What's interesting is that they've gotten rid of the 13-inch MacBook Pro altogether and replaced it with the 14-inch and put the base M3 chip inside it, which I think is great because I think the 13-inch MacBook Pro that they had, that really was not a good buy, and I always mentioned it in other videos, previous videos on the channel, that stay away from that machine, look at one of the other ones. The base 14-inch model follows the all-new design. It has ridiculously good battery life, the amazing 120Hz display, and all of the useful ports such as HDMI, SD card, and of course MagSafe. The only issue with the base model is that it comes with 8GB of unified memory, which I don't think is good enough. I think it's silly to go with a machine that has 8GB of unified memory on something like this. I'd understand if you're looking at like a base model MacBook Air, then maybe 8GB is enough, but 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 chip and 8GB of memory, 16GB is a must nowadays, I personally think. There's of course the all-new space black color, which is only available on the MacBook Pro models when you choose the M3 Pro or M3 Max chip. And it's definitely one of the best colors Apple has done in a while. It looks absolutely stunning. Even though it's called space black, it's not actually true black, it's much more of a very dark grey, but I'm not complaining. I'm glad that it's actually not true black, otherwise I think it can actually end up looking like cheap plastic. This new colour reacts to light heavily. It changes colour a lot depending on the light source and the surroundings. It also makes the machine almost look a little bit slimmer, as it hides the shadows more. It just looks very sleek. Apple have said that it has a new anodization technique that helps against fingerprints and will do a much better job of not showing scratches. And yeah, my machine has done a really good job of not showing fingerprints for the sort of past week and a bit that I've used it. This was actually a big issue with the midnight colored MacBook Air, which I actually ended up returning because it was so bad. That thing collected fingerprints like crazy and just looked ugly. That's definitely not the case with the space black. I absolutely love this color. I think it looks very classy. The rest of the design is pretty much exactly the same. From the outside, nothing has really changed. Even the internals are pretty much the same as last year's M2 models. I don't think it's a bad thing that there's no hardware changes. Why fix something that's not broken? Apple have done a really good job with the overall design of these machines. So when I got this machine, if you've seen my unboxing video, I was very excited. I was really looking forward to trying this machine out, unboxing it, using it, and seeing what it can do. I ordered the 14-inch model with the M3 Pro chip. Long-time subscribers will know that I much prefer the 14-inch model over the larger 16-inch model. For me personally, it just makes more sense for my lifestyle. I love the portability of it, and I'm happy to compromise on battery life and a little bit of performance just to have the smaller form factor. I upgraded the M3 Pro chip on this model to the 12-core CPU and 18-core GPU. I also upgraded the unified memory to 36GB and the SSD to 4TB. This goes for $3,799 US if you're in the US. But what's painful is that if you're in the UK, I actually paid, because we have taxes and stuff, I actually paid £3,899. So yeah, very painful. We pay quite a bit more than the US, but of course we have taxes, import duties and things like that. So there are a few reasons as to why I upgraded. The M3 Pro chip is of course new and should be pretty powerful. It should be able to crunch through my workflow no problem, like my current machine does, which is an M1 Max model. I do a ton of video editing, photo editing and design work. I also do some dev work here and there for my own websites. I also needed a larger SSD. I found that the 2TB SSD that I have in this, I was just filling it up very quickly because I'm working on more projects at the same time. So I upgraded from 2TB to 4TB on this machine. And yeah, having that 4TB for me will just give me a bit more room. I don't have to keep using external SSDs to offload projects. And the last reason, which is definitely not necessary, but aesthetics, that space black color is awesome. Oh, and by the way, one of the first apps I install on every new Mac is Raycast. This app is an absolute game changer. It's like Spotlight, but much more powerful. You can do things like see a history of everything you copied with the clipboard history. You can manage your windows with the built-in window management. You can move them to different sides of the screen, change their sizes, whatever you like. You can install a bunch of extensions for apps like Spotify, Figma and YouTube and control them directly within Raycast. You can easily trigger a bunch of system commands like set the volume, toggle dark mode, and you can even uninstall applications including all of its data. It also has AI deeply integrated into it, so you don't have to open up ChatGPT or anything like that. You can do it all within Raycast. And since it's at the operating system level, I can use AI on any app. And I just love how it keeps me from switching context. I can do just about anything from Raycast without stopping what I'm currently doing. It just means I can be more productive. In partnership with them, I've got 15 promo codes for Raycast Pro for you guys. It's a first come first serve, so make sure to check it out. So I set it all up, installed all of my favorite apps, and the first thing I tried was to test the performance of this machine compared to my M1 Max machine. So I set up a Final Cut Pro project, which is the main sort of resource intensive thing that I do on these machines, and just test and see how much faster this can render a video compared to my M1 Max machine. But boy, was I in for a surprise, because what I ended up finding out was that my M3 Pro was so much slower at rendering video compared to my M1 Max machine. At first I thought it was just a hiccup. I thought maybe the software was wrong. I thought maybe I wasn't using the right project or whatever. So I tested different projects. I'd made sure both machines are updated to their latest versions, but I still kept getting the same result. One of the videos I tested was 35 minutes long. It had a bunch of effects and LUTs on it. My M1 Max machine rendered out this video in 9 minutes and 34 seconds, but my new M3 Pro machine did it in 16 minutes and 13 seconds. I was genuinely confused at this outcome. Like I said, when I first did it, I was like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't make any sense. Why is it slower? For reference, my M1 Max machine has 32 gigabytes of unified memory. It has the 10 core CPU and 24 core GPU. So it does have less unified memory, has less CPU cores, but it does have a few more GPU cores. So after I did the rendering test, I ended up testing also Geekbench and Cinebench, and the M3 Pro chip in both of those cases absolutely smashes the M1 Max. Here are the Geekbench scores for both of the machines, and then here are the Cinebench scores for both of the machines. The Cinebench GPU score especially is interesting, as the score on the M3 Pro chip is nearly double what the M1 Max was able to deliver. From testing these benchmarking tools, the M3 Pro chip was beating the M1 Max, no problem whatsoever. And of course, that's what you're going to see online. When you see sort of testing, benchmarking stuff, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see that the M3 Pro is more powerful than the M1 Max. However, for my specific workflow, that just isn't the case. And it doesn't really make any sense. I don't understand why, if this is supposed to be better in every way, it's not beating my M1 Max when it comes to my core workflow, which is rendering out high quality video. Now you may be wondering, why am I testing an M3 Pro chip against an M1 Max chip? And it doesn't really make logical sense, but it does actually make logical sense to me, because if you go back and you watch my review from 2 years ago when I first got the M1 Max, I also had an M1 Pro machine to test it alongside the M1 Max. And yeah, I had both those machines together and the rendering times were exactly the same. You didn't actually get any real benefit going from an M1 Pro to an M1 Max unless you're doing 3D work. When it comes to video rendering and stuff, it was pretty much exactly the same. The rendering times were exactly the same. So because of that, I thought to myself, okay, that means I don't need an M1 Max. In that review, I even partly said that I regret going for the M1 Max. I should have just saved my money and gone for the M1 Pro. But yeah, because of that, I thought to myself, okay, let's get the M3 Pro, because that should be as fast, if not faster, than my M1 Max at rendering out video. But it's just not the case. Like, logically, I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't make sense. So now I'm asking for your help. If there's any Apple specialists out there, please do let me know why this might be the case. Please do let me know what I'm missing. Why is there such a big difference between these two machines, even though everything is saying that the M3 Pro is supposed to be more powerful than the M1 Max? Yeah, please let me know. I'm looking to really figure out what I'm doing wrong here. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, because I've tested all sorts of scenarios. Obviously I haven't done like 3D rendering or anything like that, because this is for my specific workflow. I'm sure there are tons of videos out there comparing other different things, but for video rendering, which is what I'm getting these machines for, which is very important to my workflow, the M1 Max just makes more sense right now. For this reason, I will be returning my Space Black M3 MacBook Pro. I really don't want to. I was really hoping that it was much more powerful than the M1 Max. What I might end up doing is maybe next year, sometime next year, because I still need that 4TB SSD, I want the extra space. Maybe sometime next year I will upgrade to the M3 Max model instead, just so I have as much power as my M1 Max machine. It's going to cost me quite a bit of money, but for the work and stuff that I do, it just makes sense. Like, it's an investment for me. This isn't like I'm buying a machine for fun. These things really do help me complete my work quicker and help me make more money, really. That's the main reason why I buy them. What's most impressive to me is how not only does a 2-year-old machine hold up still, it's still very powerful by today's standards. If you're looking at an M3 machine, I would highly recommend thinking carefully, because I've recommended on the channel in the past that it's actually sometimes worth going for a used or refurbished model. Apple have their own refurbished section on their website, which is updated daily. You can always find a good deal on there, and you still get the Apple level of customer service and warranty. What's crazy to me is how good value these machines are, because there is no real competition for this sort of form factor, for this compactness, power, to sort of weight and value and everything that you get. It's just incredible what you can do with them. The only thing that I dislike, of course, is the silly costs of upgrading the unified memory and the SSD. It just shouldn't be that much. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it clears up some things on whether maybe you're looking to upgrade from an M1 machine or M2 machine. It really doesn't seem worth it because these machines are holding up so incredibly well. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.